think my guest has arrived, and I'll just, without wasting my time, I'll apologize for the time, because most of the time we are on time. It's just, one of those things. But I know that you will all forgive us. And my name is Diana, and as you all know it's always been about we helping, each other to grow, to impact life, to support. And today I'm so much happy. I'm so much, overjoyed, because this lovely lady is doing so much for the world. She's, encouraging parents, she's encouraging single ladies, she's encouraging the youth, she's supporting so many people, and very, very educated, very knowledgeable. And I'm so happy. I'm just using this opportunity to also say a thank you to Professor Freeman for, linking me up to Priscilla. It didn't come so easy, because she's a busy mom and got so much, she wears so many caps. And as she speaks, I want you all to, join her channel, because she's doing a lot for the world. And I want all of you to follow her and learn. So without wasting my time, Prissy, I'm so much, honored. It's an honor to have you here to grace Diana's Diary with your knowledge, with your, your influence. Welcome on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana, for having me. Good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me when I speak?
Can we all hear Prissy, please?
Okay.
Yes, he said yes.
Yes, in the comment. Okay, so once again, good evening to everyone watching us tonight, and thank you so much for having me on your impactful show. I'm grateful to be here tonight. So tonight are we going straight into the topic? How do you do it on your platform?
Okay. Before you go straight into the topic, because it's new, we've seen you for the first time, I would like you to introduce yourself. And also, because normally my target is the youth, they might, see what you are doing, and aside that, being a mother and your career, so doing this, they want to know how, you managed to get there. Did you just, was it easy for you growing up? If you can share a little bit about your growing up with us and how far God has brought you, so that we can appreciate it and someone can relate to it.
Oh, okay. So let's go. When I'm usually put on the spot like that to say a little bit about myself, I usually don't know where to start from.
A bit about your growing up, a bit about, you went to this school, then from there, was it easy? Life, was it both parents? Was there a time that, you had certain challenges? And mostly I want to know about the challenges, because that will help somebody out there. The challenges that you were able to break to get to where you are now.
Okay.
You know how you are beautifully dressed, wearing these glasses, Shakiola, Wabiyama, I had to Priscilla. Prissy, we can't hear you, darling.
I was saying no, it's not that.
Your microphone is off.
My microphone is it working now?
Now it's good.
On the road. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So my name is Priscilla Gazy, Mrs. Priscilla Gazy. I was born in Tema, the vibrant city of Tema, in Accra. That's where I did my basic education and my junior high, in a school called St. Paul's in Tema. So if there's any Tema person here, the person will know that school. Then moved to the Eastern region, Ukwapeman, to do my secondary school.
Yeah.
Then back to Tema for my first degree, and that's where I met Professor Freeman. He tutored me for a while and took me through my project work. And from there, I started my career at the United Nations, FAO to be precise, where I was in charge of logistics and protocol. So basically, we were just a department that was in charge of everything, the organization of the business, meetings and forums and all that. My department was in charge of that. Then moved to the banking sector, where I would say basically customer advisor, giving customers financial advice, not just on accounts, but how to invest and which investment will suit the kind of life they want. Some way, somehow, I found myself in the Greek business sector because I like to explore a lot. So I went into the Greek and oil and gas, did administration, running the day-to-day activities of the firm, and also making sure the firm is out there for people to know, acting like a PR as well. And as God will have it, I got married and joined my husband in Italy. Furthered my education and managed to get into IT and did data analysis. So now I'm using numbers and patterns to solve real life problems. And aside that, I'm a mother of 2 strong boys. And as God will have it again, I saw the gap between people, a gap that I needed to fill. I saw that a lot of people are going through a lot. They are overwhelmed. They don't know how to navigate things in their life. So I saw that I needed to create a space where I could share the little knowledge I have and also give people a pat on the back and tell them that you are doing great and continue to do what you are doing, because whatever you are doing, you can get through it. Once you have the will to do it, you can always get past whatever struggle you're going through. I would say growing up was not an easy journey because I grew up with my mom. She was the main pillar in our lives, and she was the one that did all the work because my dad passed quite early. So it wasn't that easy, but with God on our side, we managed to get to where we are today. Nothing good comes on a bed of roses. That I can assure everyone. Whatever you put your mind to, you need to work hard towards it. So it was hard work and determination. There were hurdles, yes. Sometimes you go to school and you're not able to pay your fees and you have to come home and all that struggle. But if you are determined and you have a goal set for yourself and you want to achieve certain things in your life, when the hurdles come, you see it as a stepping stone, and you, instead of it breaking you rather build upon it and get to where you have destined or determined to get to. So we face challenges, yes. A single mother raising 3 children wasn't easy. She became a widow at the age of 29, if I remember correctly. So she was quite a very young woman when she became a widow. But she managed to hold the fort and push us to get to where we are today. And I would say all glory to God.
Yeah. Wow, that's a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing. All I see is resilience and determination. You are very determined in whatever that you want to do, and you are passionate about whatever you want to do. And I see somebody who is so focused and self-driven. And I admire you for that. I really admire you for that. So yes, your topic there, I know you. When Professor Freeman saw the topic, he was like, this one, I'm not missing it. I really want to know what Prissy is going to talk about because it's a big topic.
just hope he doesn't come and bombard me with questions. Yeah, I don't know because I'm not lecturing. He's a lecturer. so so he doesn't put me in the tight corner. But Diana, I when you reached out, I was thinking of so many things to share on your platform. I was even considering teaching how to make money online using these AI tools. But I don't know, for some reason I kept on going back to parenting. I don't know why it kept ringing in my mind to do that. Because I chance on content online and I see people parenting. Sometimes we think we are still in the era where we were trained. We forget that the era we are in now, where our children are growing up, is totally different. So it needs a totally different approach in order to make them that grounded human beings we want them to be. And I also realized that we as parents have so many unsolved issues. Sometimes we are parenting out of pain and out of trauma. And the thing is, you cannot give what you don't have. So if I don't have love, I cannot give my children love. If I'm so pained with an experience I went through, being it from my parents or my children's dad or whatever, or the kid's mom or whatever pain I'm going through, if I'm not able to heal from that pain and move from that pain, there's no way I can give good parenting to the kids. So before we can be good parents and nurture these young ones that God has blessed us with, we need to heal. We need to go back into ourselves and ask ourselves, what is that thing that is traumatizing me? Why do I keep on doing this to my child? I don't want to be this kind of a parent, but I continue to behave this way. How do I stop behaving this way? So we identify what is making us behave in a certain way towards our kids. Then we unlearn those things and relearn to become good parents. Let's say you wake up your child in the morning. Back home where we were.
There's a bit of shh at the background.
There's noise at the back. Is it better now?
Yes, it's better. I think when we go back, then it starts.
Oh, okay. So it means I must be close to the phone. Okay. So, growing up in Ghana, let's say a typical Ghanaian home is very strict. You have very strict parents. You dare not talk back when your daddy says no. There's no room for expression. It's a one-way street. So it's mommy, daddy saying what you should do, and that's it. That's what you need to do. There's nothing like expression, communication. The expression of love is basically putting food on the table and giving your kids close to it. There's nothing like. Majority of us grew up without even hearing "I love you" from our parents. They never said that. We don't know. That word doesn't exist in our minds because we never experienced it. Maybe the first time we heard "you are beautiful" was from a stranger out there. They never told us these things. They just show love by giving provision. That's a typical African way of showing affection. So your child comes home and let's say moody, you brush it off. Then in the morning, let's say you wake him up for school and he says, "Mommy, I won't go to school. I don't want to go to school." A typical parent, an African parent will be like, let me use Ghana context, will be like,
Oh, madam.
I don't know, people say, "Jimmy, Minya, the Winnie, and can you tell my rabbi? So one sorry if you be there 1 year." They won't take the time to ask you why you are saying you are not going to school. Probably that child is being bullied in school and doesn't feel safe anymore in school. The child is not happy there and he doesn't want to be there. But for some reason, because we don't communicate with the kids, we end up, because we don't communicate with the kids, and we don't give them the room to express themselves, we are very dismissive from the word go. So when the child says, I don't want to go to school, you go like, come on, get up, vanish. I don't want to hear you saying that because I want you to be in school. So from the word go, you have dismissed whatever the child wanted to tell you. So the child is not able to confide in you and let you know what he or she is going through at that particular moment. So what happens is the child quells up and decides to be by himself. You shut him down and he wouldn't want to communicate anything else to you. So from that day onwards, he tries to build this wall between you and him, that everything that happens to him, you're oblivious to. You don't know anything about it, because the day he tried to let you know what he or she is going through, you dismissed it. So he or she is not going to let you know any other thing happening in his life again. And once that thing happens, it means you're not going to know what is happening in your child's life. The child may slip into depression, filled with anxiety, and may become rebellious. And that is something that we are trying to prevent as parents. So the typical African way is that strict no communication type of nurturing children. So to be good parents, when we unlearn these things we learned growing up, because these things that we learned growing up were the only way our parents knew how to train us, because that's the only way they were taught. But today we are privileged to be in a different setting. We are in the diaspora and we have learned certain cultures from the diaspora. Some are good, some are not. So how do we put these cultures together in order to build that platform where we don't throw what we learned in our culture away, but rather add the good ones we are learning here, put it together, have a middle ground where we can use those things to help nurture these ones that God has blessed us with. So one, we need to unlearn, and we need to understand the times that we are living in. Our era was different, so our parents got away with so many things because we did not know. We didn't have much information around us. We were not privy to so much information. But now the kids are privy to so much. They know everything because the world is literally in their hands. They have access to phones, they have access to the internet, and they learn things as they go. So how do we come in to set barriers so that they wouldn't learn things and get lost in the information that is put out there? You know, these information are thrown out there, and in between these good information, we have negative ones, we have misinformation. And if we don't balance it, our kids are going to get misinformed and they lose their way. So how do we balance the two? We need to understand the times we are in. We need to get the knowledge that this world is different. Learn how this world is operating and learn the coding of the kids' language. You know, these kids have a way of communicating, and they may say one thing and you will think is A, but it may be B. So we learn how they communicate with their peers. So if there's something happening, if we are planning anything that is not good, you know that no, when they say this, they mean this. So if you are nurturing a Gen Z child, you need to be a Gen Z mom. If you are nurturing a Gen A mom, you need to be a Gen A mom. Don't use what do you call it, baby boomer, to nurture a child that is a Gen Z. It won't work because their era is totally different. So back then, parents were so strict. When they say no is no. You dare not talk back or say, Daddy, I don't want to do it that way. But in order to have this good balance as a parent, you need to be disciplined. Yes, you need to stand your ground when you say something, but let the children understand why you are saying what you're saying. So if, let's say, you are punishing a child for a misbehavior, you need to be firm with it. Yes, he did wrong, but let him understand why you are punishing him. Let's say the child took the car keys and went out without a driver's license. Let me use this contest. He comes home, he gets punished. Maybe you take the car from him, in a typical Ghana home, he may have been beaten or insulted or whatever it is. But here you cannot do that, and it's not even the right way. So you make the child understand why it is wrong for him to drive without a license, because he can cause damage to himself, he can cause damage to other people on the road, and he may end up in prison. So with a child knowing these things, that this is what the implications may be, the child understands why he cannot drive, and even why when he attains 18, he's not going to drive until you have seen a change in him. Then he will understand. But if you go straight and you're like, no, you have to do this and you have to do that, the child doesn't understand why you are punishing him. He may think that you are being too strict, or you are being a mean parent. So gradually they learn how to rebel, because we just have a few years with them. When they get to a certain age, you cannot control them. So there's no need to control. It's just guidance we need to give these kids. So blending discipline and communication. So we take the discipline from our culture and we blend it with dialogue, because in this setting, in the diaspora, they believe so much in dialogue. So they talk about things. When things happen, they talk and they come to a conclusion and they understand why they are getting this punishment. You are grounded because you did A or B. So they understand why they are grounded. But from our setup, we don't understand why we are punished. We are punished because daddy says so. We don't know why. So it makes the kids kind of anxious. They don't understand why things happen those ways. So we need to let the kids know why they are being punished. And African culture is deeply rooted.
Mm-hmm. I know that, back home, where we are from, when you are punished or given a punishment, you always know. Don't you know?
You know that you did. Probably, let's say, let me use this example.
I'm not trying to, because it's like, do we have to explain to them why they need to go to the naughty corner? Or because where we come from, you've done, sometimes it's not explained, but you know what you did. Other times,
kids are very experimental, and they like to explore a lot. Yes. So the child may think he knows. At that moment, he's experimenting to see the. I have a friend, a very good friend of mine, who experimented when she was a child, and she became pregnant because they told them they did. Let's say in biology, they did a topic in that topic. I don't want to mention because of community guidelines. Because she wanted to know what it entails, so she went to experiment. And that she fell pregnant, and she has a very good baby right now. Wow. You may think that she's a bad child, or she knows what she was doing, but it was out of curiosity. You see? So if the parents were that strict and they were like, yes, they will be disappointed that you didn't go.
I think they have to really, let these kids, because there's a lady that will be coming on in July with psychology, how Piaget experimented in terms of the kids. And if these kids want to explore, okay, there are some, I know close friends that doesn't want their kids to be free. Oh, you are making mess, you are doing this, and they think like from what you are saying, I'm trying to have the understanding that they might not be wrong because they want to play. You brought maybe a TV and they want to know why you plug it. They will take it out, switch it on, take it out, switch it on, and see how it's working. So if you beat a child like that, she may think that she hasn't done anything wrong because the child is experimenting. Now I'm trying to follow you. So I think there has been some punishment that I've given that I think I'm wrong. Because in my eyes,
you think the child should know.
Yeah, should know that you shouldn't make a mess here. You brought a Play-Doh. The Play-Doh, I said you should do it in the study room. Why do you bring it in the living room? But that child in her mind, I think she's thinking that everywhere it's okay, it's my house. So this is what. Okay.
Why can't he play here? So the child needs to understand why he cannot play here. And when the mess is created there, he needs to clean up his mess.
So now, what do we do now?
Let the child understand the why behind the action.
Okay.
Why you are doing this.
Thank you.
So there should be an explanation behind your action. You cannot just say, do it because I am your mother and I say so. The child will do it. But you cannot get your way all the time because you cannot force him to do it all the time. It will get to a point that they will rebel because they don't understand why you are making them just follow your lead, because it's not like we are back home where the kids are not allowed to express. Even the system here supports them. It allows them to be fully expressive and even report us when we go wrong, when they think
as parents, I think we really need a why. We are here to hear you. We need support. How to go about it without saying that moha agenda do if you want your fee waha adan edi asem kranie. Hey, then they become ready. The house is tidy. I know a good friend that the children don't have to go to the living room.
When it happens, it's you that are going to clean it. So sometimes, because you want to protect your energy, you are tired and all that, to prevent them from playing. But they just want to be kids. They want to be kids. They are kids and they want to be kids. So let them understand why you don't need to do this, because you can hurt yourself. Sometimes when my soldier is being very messy and very too hyper, I let him understand that you're going to get a boo-boo. When you jump and you fall, you will have a boo-boo. And when you have a boo-boo, it will hurt. And when it hurts, you will cry. The mommy's kiss cannot fix the boo-boo. So he doesn't want to get a boo-boo, so he will stop. Let's say if he's shouting or if he's using the remote control, and he makes it so loud because he wants to hear it in his ear. I don't know how he wants to hear it. And I'm like, it's too loud. So reduce it. He will ask me, Mommy, is it making noise? I'm like, yes, it's too loud. Reduce it. Then he will reduce it. So he knows why you're asking him to do what you're asking him to do. But if you just go ahead and just shout, and I want him to say, oh, you did it. I don't know, like, you put some kind of fear in the child and you make him quail. When we compare a lot of the African kids to these white kids are very expressive. They are very confident, but majority of the African kids are very timid. Yes, they don't know how to, when they get in public, they don't know how to manage themselves. That is why they are easily targeted. Because the world we are living in is very crazy. So if you quail, they target you and they mess you up. They just break you and you are no longer confident again in yourself. So let them understand the why behind the punishment. And majority, not all of us, even if we are Muslim, our culture is deeply rooted in faith. So if you are a Christian, your family is deeply rooted in faith. So we grow up knowing God. No, I won't say no, because majority of us did not experience God ourselves. We were forced to know God because on Sundays they forced us to go to church. Follow me to church. My mom used to do that. Now when I'm talking to her, I'm like, and they will wear you some shoe and some dress that you don't like.
Please, I think the way I'm enjoying this and this time, we need to do a part 2 tomorrow.
Obviously, there should be a part 2 so we
There
can.
should be a part 2 because where you are taking us, there's like you are exposing so many things that is so vital, and we need to know as mothers. And we haven't even gotten anywhere.
We've not even gotten anywhere. So definitely there should be a part 2 where we can go deeper and understand that we need to do better as parents.
Yeah.
We need to do better.
How is your program like tomorrow, please?
Tomorrow, I can tell you in the morning, because I have some activities. I don't know when it's going to. I don't have a specific time, but I'm sure in the morning I should arrange with the person and know.
Yeah.
How it's going to.
We all have to come here. I don't have anyone tomorrow, and the way I'm enjoying this and with the time. All right, let's rock it.
So as I was saying, with knowing God, majority of us were forced into going to church with our parents or being Muslims or whatever religion we find ourselves in. We didn't understand why we even go to church, or why we go to Sunday school, or why we need to do certain things certain way. We didn't understand. But our parents forgot that Bible says, train up a child the way he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart from it. The training doesn't mean force the child. It means guide the child. So instead of forcing the child to pray, let the child experience God themselves by looking at you, your actions, your behavior. The miracles that happen in your life will make the child know that indeed there's God and I need to know this God. But if you force that child, pray, and like, it makes the child feel that why are they forcing me to know this person I don't even see? So you build a certain image in the child's head, and all he or she wants to do is to grow quickly and leave your house so that you don't disturb him with going to church and all those things, because he doesn't understand. But if you guide the child and the child experiences God through you, your actions and the things you do, you don't even need to tell the child pray. He knows, because he has experienced God through you. He has seen. Your life has taught him or her that indeed there's a God that I need to serve, because when I serve him and I rely on him, this is how my life is going to turn out. This is my mom. She is an example. This is my dad. I can see God in my dad. I can see God in my mom. So why not serve that God that you are talking about? So we don't need to force them. There's no need to force kids to do things they don't want to do. Let them experience it through your actions.
I love this example. I
give this because I'm a living testimony. You should see me going to church. If you see my childhood church pictures, I never smiled in any of the pictures. I'm always angry going to, because I didn't understand why my mom would carry us to go to church. She really wanted us to know God, but she didn't know how to help us know this God she was talking about until I experienced God for myself. You know, sometimes when I have discussion with my friends, they're like, hey, how did you get this U-turn? Because I didn't used to talk about God this much, but I got to a certain point in my life that my experience with God has made me got to know that there is this God that you need to experience yourself, have a relationship with him, not because people say so, but because of your personal encounter with him. So you do things a certain way, not being forced to serve. No. Parenting shouldn't be by force. It should be guide. We are their guide. We are just guiding them through this journey. We're just privileged that we have been given these beautiful ones to nurture and guide.
And so I like the fact that you did use like this example of the right word to use. Like when you are evangelizing, like your life being preaching to people.
Let them see you. Yes, they see you and they see God. Yes. They see you. It's not like, sometimes you say one thing and your actions is saying another. So let your action do the talking.
Do the talking. And they will really follow you.
Of course, you don't have a choice. If they are seeing what God is doing in your life, if they are experiencing God through the things that are happening in your life, there's no need to talk about the God you are talking about. They would come. They will search for that God and they will worship that God. It's as simple as that. But parents, say, it's not bad. It's good because you need to instill that God factor in us. We cannot do without Him, especially in this diaspora we find ourselves, because they will lose. We live in a dispensation where wrong has become right and right has become wrong.
Yeah.
So if you know the God factor, it is easy for them to lose their way. So it's good for them to know God, but in the right way, so they don't rebel and they lose what you are trying to teach them totally. No, it needs to be done the right way. We should guide them, force them.
Thank you.
Lastly, I would say because the time is going very fast, let me touch on one last thing before we go, and we come back tomorrow to talk about this.
Thank you.
We need to build a community. Back in Ghana, it's a whole community that nurtures children. It's not just the parents. You have your mom, you have your aunties, you have your uncles, you have your grandma, you have neighbors, you have everybody joining in to help teach these children the right way. I remember growing up, you can do something outside and not even your mom, your neighbor person will just beat you on the way and hold your hand. You see, one person pulls you, because obi to me pie was soon free with the call better than which now mommy.
In Kumasi, a lot of people were moving from Kumasi to Accra because it's like Kumasi, every your business is everyone's business.
And your crowns or some will be meeting a normal
nobody, they were like, oh, Accra is too much freedom, but Kumasi, wherever you go, someone will see you and call your mom. That one
okay, the individuals, okay, because it's because young warm Accra, so people don't know
Kumasi, and Kumasi it was like that. Like your child's business is everyone's business.
Where I grew up in Tema, it was like that as well. Just say, won't you mean fancy? This will be before we do, never feel that. And yes, so on sacred the web at the other report. My edo by the bow or pine so that. Until they do near the beatings, no, that they are twice will feel. Sometimes they punish us in a way like they were military. Obiabe punish you. Obiabe punish you. But that community is not here. And the kids don't see themselves, like they don't see their kind. We are Africans. Our culture is different. Our way of life is different. So they need to understand that they are Africans. They are unique. This is where they are coming from. They need to embrace their ethnicity. But they cannot embrace it if they are in the midst of people that they are not in the same cultural setting with. That is why we need to build a community around them. It could be the church. Because in the church you will find like-minded people. You could find people from your original background. They also have kids. So this community help nurture, because when they see them, they say, oh, they look like me. So we are the same. But in school, they don't look like them. Like in my child's school, he's the only African in the class. So he doesn't see he doesn't see himself in the class. So if as a parent, if you don't constantly tell them you are African, you are unique, you are beautiful the way you are this, you are that, they lose themselves. And they want to blend into a culture that is not there. We need to balance the two. So we need to build a strong community around us, just as in Ghana. Just that this community shouldn't be that pokey, like too nosy and too in all over the place. Just a community where the kids will feel like they also belong. They see their own kind there, and they understand that this is how we are, and they will understand the kind of norms and the kind of traditions we have, so they can easily blend into it. Not the Kokonsa type of community. No, I'm talking about a community where we help share like-minded ideas and help build each other to become better people. So Diana, I don't know if you have any questions, but if we don't have questions, then you can take the floor so we can continue, because time is
yeah, 5 more questions. Please, anybody has a question so far, whatever we've spoken about? Other than that, we will have to wrap it and call it a day. And I'm so sorry about the starting time. Something really happened, and I hope that you have forgiven us. Prissy, thank you so much. Thank you so much for preparing for this day. I can't wait to have a part 2 with you tomorrow. Family, please, tomorrow I'll communicate the time as usual on my WhatsApp status and TikTok as well, so that we'll know the right time. But I'm sure it's going to be in the evening because of our kids. It's definitely going to be in the evening. Please don't lose God. Parents, we need all this gist. We need all this spice from Prissy. So without much addition, subtraction, Prissy, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Diana, and thank you so much.
And everyone, thank you more. Thank you.